What's up, Tweener heads? Welcome back to another Tweener head tennis video today on our channel. And today we have a very special guest, Eliot Spizzirri, who plays for the University of Texas of Austin, one of the top college programs in the entire country. So thank you to him for joining us today for this special interview with him. If you want to check out more about the University of Texas and what they are about, I'll leave a link in the description to his Instagram as well as their college athletics page, so make sure to go check them out. And before we start this interview, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and if you can help us along the way to hit that sub button with notifications turned on, that would be fantastic. So thank you guys for joining us on this special journey here at Tweener Head Tennis, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, Eliot, we're in quarantine. Everyone's at home. Everyone's staying safe. How are you doing this fine day?
For me, I'm doing pretty well. It's a little bit rainy in Connecticut, so I don't presume I'll be playing tennis today, but my schedule is to do a little bit of school, get some work done, work out, and then spend some time with the family.
Nice. How are you staying fit? Because you told me you have a court available, which is rare for some people at this time.
Right.
So you have a private court. Do you have a gym at home, or how are you staying fit?
So our strength and conditioning coach at Texas is sending us some great workouts that I've been doing, as well as going for some runs. I found a little path in my neighborhood where I think it's about a 4-mile run, so I've been doing that quite a bit to keep my cardio up. And then it's tough because I don't have a gym to work out in, so I can't lift any weights, but
okay.
I have a weighted vest and a few dumbbells, so I'm making do with that. And then I'm lucky enough to have a buddy who has a private court, and so I've been training there for a couple hours a day. So it's been great for me. I've been able to keep somewhat of a routine during this tough time. But
that's awesome. And I think a lot of people need to take advantage of that, especially from your sake, because for a guy going to one of the top programs in the nation, I feel like the grind just never stops.
Oh yeah, during this time, if you slack off, I understand that some people don't have access to courts, and it is what it is, and it's nothing you can do about it. But everyone can always put a little work in, whether it's a workout at home, going for a run. So the fact that I'm able to keep up the training is huge, especially going into next season. Yes, there's no motivation, right? Not much motivation right now because there's nothing coming up in the immediate future. But that's something that has to come within. So for me, I've been enjoying it, and I feel like I'm training hard and like the way I've been doing things. So.
And Eliot, for those of you who don't know, is a part of one of the greatest, I think, collegiate tennis programs out there. He goes to the University of Texas of Austin. And you, before we started recording, you were telling me that you graduated early from high school and signed your letter in November of 2019 and joined the team in, what was it, January 2020?
Yeah.
Talk us through.
I flew down. Sorry?
No, I was just going to ask, talk us through that process in terms of what made you decide to go to Texas, why'd you go early, and walk us through what that feeling was like.
Yeah, so the recruiting process is tough. It's not an easy decision to make by any means. There's so many good options, so many great coaches, so many great programs, schools, that you name it. And over time, I just kept narrowing it down. And the way I was doing that was obviously contacting coaches, talking to them as much as possible, and then talking to former players, current players, and former coaches as much as I could to get all the insight on everyone. So I had a good idea of where I would fit in the best. And then with Texas, the head coach, Bruce Burke, was recruiting me, and I really liked the way he was doing. He runs his program and talked to some of his players, and I had a couple of buddies who were freshmen this past year who had already been through a fall semester with him, and they said they loved it. And then a coach that I've been working with for a long time, Brandon Wagner, who's now the assistant at Texas, was hired. So that really made me look more at UT, and then as time went on, I kept narrowing it down, and it happened to be Texas for me. But it's really it's not an easy decision, and you got to take your time with it, I think. But for me, with going in, finishing high school, December 2019 it was a grind. I was spending a lot of hours in the library every day because I was thinking that I had a good amount of time to kind of relax my senior year and focus more on tennis, but then I had to get in the library and get down to work and finish it early. So that was difficult. But then early January, I flew out to Miami for our pre-season event.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little invitational.
Okay.
And that went really well. It was super fun training with the team, getting to know the guys a little bit better. And then what I was most nervous about was the school, for sure, the tennis. I wasn't as worried about. But it all worked out. I mean, the resources are tremendous at a school like Texas and many others. So they really help you adjust. And I can tell you I was probably more nervous than others. I actually was telling my coach this funny story the other day that on my first day of class, I was freaking out. So I woke up 2.5 hours early and started walking to class an hour and a half early when it's a 10-minute walk. So I would have showed up to class an hour and 10 minutes early if it wasn't for my teammate who stopped me and asked me what I was doing. But yeah, it honestly, I was pretty nervous for the adjustment. Just going into regular classes, coming from an online school environment through high school, but it all works out.
So you finished. So it was online high school. It wasn't an actual. You didn't have to go to an actual high school, correct?
No, yeah. So
okay.
After 7th grade, starting 8th grade, I decided to start doing the whole spring school online.
Okay, and do you think that helped you with your tennis? Because when I was growing up here in Connecticut as well, a lot of kids I was training at Intensity at the time in Norwalk, and a lot of kids were doing online schooling, and I felt like I had a disadvantage when I was going to school for 8 hours a day, and then all these kids would be training 3 hours before me and then 3 hours after me. Do you think that benefited you?
Personally, I do think so. Everyone's different, though. Some people like to have that regular high school experience, and they turn out to be phenomenal players. There's many guys in the Pro Tour that have gone through high school experiences like any other student. But for me, I prioritized, I loved playing tennis, and I still do, so I wanted to be on the court as much as possible training, and also to be able to travel the world and play ITF junior events and try to make it into the junior Grand Slams was one of my big goals. So I really couldn't be in school because ITF events are a week at a time, and I would just be missing too much if I wanted to push for that goal. Mm-hmm. And so I basically made the pitch to my parents that this is what I want to do, and listen, it's a pretty good school. You have to definitely push yourself to learn, but I mean it's not as easy to learn in an online school environment. Mm-hmm. But it worked out well for me, and it allowed me to be more flexible in my schedule and do the things I wanted, which was to travel the world and play tournaments. You
have quite the track record for ITF tournaments. You've won a couple doubles finals on ITF Grade 1s. You've traveled around. You were at the Easter Bowl. You've played at every junior Grand Slam. You even won the doubles Grand Slam for the U.S. Open in 2019, correct?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was super special. I've been going to the U.S. Open since I was probably 7 years old with my family. So to win it with all my friends and family watching, to win the doubles with Tyler was definitely probably the best moment I've had on the court so far. It was a surreal experience. I just loved having everyone there, and obviously on such a big stage, it was nice to perform well. And yeah, I loved it.
Did you have any particular memories besides winning the title there? Did you run into any big players? What was it like? Did you share the locker room with the main tour guys, or was it separate?
The locker room's separate.
Okay.
But I got to train with Kevin Anderson. I had probably one of the coolest experiences any player right now can have by hitting with Roger Federer on Arthur Ashe Stadium, which was, I'm lucky enough, the USTA set that up for me. So
oh, wow.
I was really thankful for that. It was crazy. Me and one of my buddies, Govind Nanda, who played in the men's qualies. He got a wild card for the final in Kalamazoo. We both hit with him on Arthur Ashe a couple days before the tournament, which was a surreal experience.
What did he surprise you in any way? Because I feel like if I hit with Roger, I swear I probably would have passed out.
Yeah, I honestly I couldn't even eat my bacon, egg, and cheese before. It was the first time in my life I couldn't eat. Like
Really?
Before matches, I'm a little nervous, but
Yeah.
to no extent where I can't eat. I'd never felt that before. But then once you get out there, like he's such a cool guy. And he's just like anyone else, and he couldn't be nicer. So it really loosens up the mood when you're hitting with him because he's just relaxed. And yeah, I mean he hits a huge ball, but after a few minutes you get used to it and you just start to enjoy it.
There's two things from that I learned. One is that you couldn't be more from Connecticut when you say bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast. And two,
that's very true. That's my
it's so true. It's so true. And two, did he give you any tips, or was it just like you hit, take a picture, and then you leave?
I probably could have done a better job of asking for tips. I was kind of a little bit starstruck. I was just like, oh my god, I'm looking over the net, and it's my idol who I'm hitting with. So yeah, we talked to him like on changeovers, but we were kind of just talking about life, and he said some things about some of the top players, like what's great in their game styles. And he was talking about Novak's serve, and
oh, wow.
it was cool. It was cool to hear about that. And yeah, I mean, we talked about junior tennis. I don't think he felt like he was in a position to like give us tips unless we'd asked. So
okay.
we could have done a better job of asking, but just to talk to him and be on the court with him, and then seeing the way he strikes the ball and moves, that alone was a huge lesson to me and Govin. So it was special.
How old are you? 19, 20?
I'm 18.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Even I feel old now. But yeah, like growing up, watching him on TV, and then getting that experience to hit with him, it must have been like when they told you the news. I feel like it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, my coach and I were talking about it like 2 summers ago, and he was like, dude, like, we saw some of the top juniors were hitting with like Roger and Novak and these guys, and then when I started doing better, Pat was like, hey man, maybe one day we'll actually get to hit with Federer. And my coach is also a major Federer fan. His Instagram handle is actually FedGoat.
Of course it is.
Yeah, he's all in. So when we heard the news, it was crazy.
I can't imagine. I kind of want to touch on your college career again. When I went to Austin and I watched the U.S. play Spain when they played the Davis Cup in 2012, and it was on University of Texas campus, but this was before your giant facility center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much of an impact does, when you tell someone that you play for the University of Texas, what's their first reaction?
I don't know. Everyone says like, "Wow, that's amazing. It's pretty cool." Mm-hmm. For me, like being at the university with the resources that they provide, it's like the best place any athlete could be. I mean, I don't know if there'll ever be another point in my life where I have this many people helping me at once, and
oh wow,
at one call away or one text away from whether it's strength and conditioning, helping me diversify workouts, whether it's nutritionists, helping me create a good plan for my diet, coaches, tutors. I mean, you can go on and on about how many great resources they give you at a school like one of the big schools like Texas. So, yeah, I mean, everything from the facilities to the camp. I mean, everything's amazing, but the people there are just what makes the place so special.
You were obviously coming into a championship team that won it last year, mm-hmm. and coming into this year, how did your coach approach this season, or how did you approach this season? Was it, we have to go back to back, or was there a team mentality that you guys set up at the beginning of the season when you first arrived?
Coach did a really good job of that. He didn't he didn't talk much about the championship team from last year, although, I mean, he touched on it a few times because there was definitely some things that we wanted to replicate from a team like that. So, yeah, he talked about it a bit, but I think all of us had it in the back of our minds that it's a new team. We lost, I think, 4 seniors from that championship winning team, so we were very young besides our 1 and 2 players, Yuya Ito and Christian Sigsgaard. So I came into the season knowing that they were going to play sort of a leadership role, and they did that tremendously. And it was awesome to get their feedback and just pick their brains about how they've been so successful in college tennis. And then I think we created a great bond with each other that we were starting to really hit our stride, I think, when the season got cut short. So that was unfortunate, but I really enjoyed the way they led the team. I think we had a great culture, and coach did a great job with that, even though sometimes there can be a lot of expectations on some of the guys' shoulders after winning a national championship. But they certainly didn't play like that, and I think that our mindset was directed towards the right things.
Did you feel any pressure coming into it as a young gun? Because you joined the team a little late, even though you created that bond, and you came in playing, well, you were known, I think, from my mind, as a doubles player, and you play singles as well. Was that intimidating to come in like that?
Yeah, it's not easy. The pressure of playing college tennis is a lot different from juniors.
Okay.
I knew, like, it wasn't. There's definitely pressure to perform because I was coming in January. Coach put me at 4 singles, and I had just joined the team. There had been a lot of other guys who had great fall seasons that also could have been playing 4 singles, but he trusted me, and I went in there and ended up doing well. So I was thankful to get that opportunity early in the season to perform. But yeah, I mean, in college tennis, if you're not playing well, you're not competing well, you're not going to be in the lineup at the end of the day. So it's not easy. There's definitely a lot of pressure, especially when you're playing for a team and you want to do well for your guys. So yeah, I definitely felt pressure coming in. I mean, the first match I played was against the number 2. I think the Gators were number 2. We were number 1. We went into Gainesville, or it might have been the other way around. I can't remember. We went into Gainesville and played a night match there. It was my first college tennis match, and I played 2 doubles and 4 singles, and ended up losing doubles and winning singles. But it's like the pressure that I felt there it's like nothing else. You can't really compare it to any junior tennis match, maybe besides like a Grand Slam match. But at the end of the day, it's just makes it more fun when there's that much more at stake.
Comparing a college match to a junior Grand Slam, never would have put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stress how tense that environment is in a dual match, because anything can happen in a college tennis match, so you need to be on it at all times, which just creates more and more pressure for everyone. But at the end of the day, you see the guys that can handle it the best, they come out on top. So that's the fun of it. I mean, the environment is it's electric.
I have to ask you this because I've seen it in college matches before, but how badly I think on your level, because you have referees there all the time, how badly do college players do line calls?
Yeah,
that seems like a huge problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. Sometimes the refs don't see the calls the way you do. So, I mean, on a big point, a kid might make a close call, but at the end of the day, there's really nothing you can do.
I know.
For me, I just try to be as honest as possible and never try to make a call that would be considered sort of a hook. I think luck will favor you, and if you just play with integrity and sportsmanship and you don't make bad calls. I I never would feel great if I won a match because
You hooked it.
I hooked a guy. Yeah, I hooked a guy, and when realistically he would have won the match. So I don't think that's the right way to play. It does happen quite a bit, but I honestly in this season, with the amount of matches I played, I felt like there was maybe only one or two matches where it got bad, but so I got pretty lucky. But I've seen it get really bad before, so it's definitely a problem. But from what I saw this season, it's getting better for sure.
Good. I think to wrap this up, I have to ask you your favorite moment from college so far.
Oof, my favorite moment, I would say when we played Stanford at home after the national indoors. We beat them at indoors in a close match, 4-2, and I didn't finish my match. It was me and Yuya on court, and Yuya clinched it, and I was deep in the third set. And I think I was up 5-1, so I wanted to close that one out, but I didn't get to it. 5-2, but Yuya clinched before me, which has happened a couple times, being the player that he is. But yeah, for me, my favorite moment was playing Stanford at home in front of a crowd of hundreds of people.
Wow.
And then my dad and one of our family friends flew down to Austin to come watch.
Oh,
and
wow, that's huge.
I clinched the doubles point on a deuce point, 5-4, I believe, on a forehand winner down the line, and it was just like, it was the coolest feeling. The whole crowd erupted. It was awesome.
I feel like tennis players have a very good memory of like how exactly certain things happen. And you just described one point from probably, like 2 months ago? Like to a T.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was talking with someone the other day. Like, it depends, though. So like, when we're talking about the U.S. Open, there's times in that match where I just can't recall anything that went on. Like, sometimes you just go into, like, a zone, and you kind of, like, black out, and you don't really remember anything. You're just letting your muscle memory, like, do the talking. I mean, you don't really have to think. But other times, it's weird. Some matches I remember literally every point, and some matches I don't remember much. So it's funny how that differs. But I would say, tennis players are more sway on the side of remembering crazy details from matches.
Oh, 100%. Well, Eliot, I really appreciate you coming on to my channel and talking to us about your college career and your juniors. If you guys want to check out Eliot and more, I'll leave his Instagram and links to Texas down below in the description. But Eliot, thank you again for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. I enjoyed being a part of it.
No problem.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Eliot.